What's up YouTube? Today I wanted to show you another Memento deck profile post alliance inside. As you can see, this is a new setting again. I was thinking about like doing the deck profiles like this. I don't know if it's better, you can tell me that in the comments if you want. And yeah, I was thinking about doing like a little more videos about Memento the upcoming weeks and days because of the national preparation many people are doing right now, and wanted to give you like every week or some like updates, not even in deck profiles, but like some updates on the testing I have gone through and the conclusions I have made and decisions for the deck. And you can write me in the comments if you want that or like less videos on that topic. But yeah, let's just start. It's just gonna be a quick deck profile and then some explanations on some ratios. So of course we still play 3 Anguish, and this time 3 Dark Blades, because in testing we noticed that you want to play whatever it costs and you can break with this deck, so you want as many starters as you possibly can play. Even if you like sometimes then draw like 2 or 3 normal summons and you can deal with it, but that's a risk you have to take, because like the bricking on normal summons happens less than bricking overall if you like just open, if you don't play the Dark Blade and you have the space for it. So yeah, and then of course the 3 Tatsu, this doesn't change as much. The bricks, of course, the boss monster. I wish we shouldn't. Like, this card is so trash. I drew it so often in testing, but you have to play it sadly, because we don't play this. Like, those are no starters, and you cannot play that great sadly. So you have to play it. And yeah, so like with this you have 3, 6, 9, 11 starters, like theoretically 12, because this is the 1.5 card starter, because every one of this plus this is full combo. Same goes for Sleepy plus every one of this, but like the most part of the Memento monsters is like already full combo, like those 11. So basically you can tell this plus any one of this or this plus any one of this is full combo, or like those two combined. So yeah, in theory we got like 13 starters ish, or like theoretically, if we put this back, you can count the Bone Party as a starter too, because Bone Party plus any of those is full combo. Um, of course with this too, but they are already started, so yeah. And still 3 Fusion, I don't know why people cut this to 2. It's the best engine card in the deck. It helps you play around Bestials, it's a good interruption on the opponent's turn, it's a good follow-up card in the graveyard. It gives you everything the deck needed, so yeah. Like if you play Fiendsiv, you maybe can cut down to 2, but I wouldn't. And then the 3 Breakout of Still and the Fit spell. I was thinking if there's a world of cutting this, but like in game 1 you needed to play sometimes around like some Charmies, and this is what we like noticed, that Charmies are no problem, except if your opponent opens like 2. That's why here are still some Ash Blossoms in, I want to talk about it later. And you cannot like gamble on the fact, yeah, my opponent's just gonna draw like one Fuva and we can play through it, because like we can full combo into Fuva. We've given our opponent one draw. And another thing is, if you play like 3 Dark Blades, there are more scenarios where you start with this card because it's the best normal summon in your hand, and if you start with the Dark Blade, Fuva loss is a little better into your combo, because Dark Blade summons from deck. So yeah, and if you cut this down to 2, consistency goes down a little bit, and you want the consistency as much as possible. That's why I play the 1 Prosperity as well. It plays into draw, but if you cut this down and this, you're on 39, because this is 41 cards. Then you can play like the Called in the main deck. You will see I'm not running it. And but then you lost 2 consistency cards, which are really important, because you, like for example, if you win the die roll, you want to play game 1. You want to win game 1 because this is your most advantageous combo deck you have. And if you like use Prosperity, add a thing, and your opponent rolls you, like if you only revealed Anguish, that's okay. Like if Prosperity is the only play, there's a higher chance that you bricked on non-engine than on engine, because the big pile of engine, like the only way how prosperity is like the only play if you bricked on engine is like if your hand looks like, I don't know, like this. So, or like this, because then you can normal summon. So that's just not that high as a chance. And I know I said earlier that you don't play 3 Dark Grip because you don't want to brick on normal summon, but you rather brick on normal summons than on like non-engine, because this deck plays still Broadbreaker, and if your starting hand looks like this, for example, and like, I don't know, 1 engine brick here. So if your starting hand looks like this, you set those 2, but then Fuvalos is dead. You can discard it for Super Poly or Droplet, of course. But yeah, that's not good. Like most decks can probably play through this. So, and like this is just an example for a non-engine brick. So yeah, then for the prosperity, as I said, it's consistency, and like after you played your whole combo and then resolve a prosperity and reveal like something from the side deck, it's pretty insane. So yeah, I wasn't playing this for the last few formats or like last weeks or months, but if you like really test much and you play many games, you will brick sometimes, and like some games, like 3 or 4 games in a row, you will brick. You want the consistency as much as possible, and there were so many games where I drew like Gatic and I was still on 40 cards, and then I decided, okay, let's just put a prosperity in for 41 to make the chance to draw the Gatic a little bit lower, and to the chance to draw a good card a little bit higher, because this is a really good card. Like, it's like reveal any card. That's like basically search everything you want if you reveal what you want. So, and then as I said, 3 Ash Blossoms. I put the third one in here, I guess. Yeah, exactly. You have to out Charmies, even if they like don't bother you that much, except like the Meowls, and there are some people who may Meowls, and you want an out for that. And even for double Charmy, like if you get double Charmy, you normal summon Dark Blade and your opponent drops Fuvalos, you want to at least out one, because like giving your opponent 2 draws per summon from deck or extra deck is pretty hard, even if you're like just doing, if you like say we start with Anguish and it's just those 2, then your opponent gets like 4 draws, and you don't want that. And the problem with double Charmies is like, if you get Peruliat and Meowth, for example, if you get Meowths, the monsters you summon from the graveyard, you mostly summon from hand. Like, you summon the Combined Creation from hand instead of graveyard in normal combo. And if you get Peruliat, you summon everything you want from grave, like the Sleepy, or like the Combined Creation, what you will like already do. And if they get both Charmies, you can play around it, because if you play from graveyard, your opponent gets a draw, and if you play from hand, your opponent gets a draw. And you don't want to give your opponent draws, so you like basically ash the thing that is like weak for your hand, but like mostly you just ash the first Charmy the opponent drops. So and that if they open Perulia, mostly is Perulia, because it's like the one that gives value, doesn't matter against what you play, because almost every deck has to normal summon. And then of course the best generic Charmy, 3 Fuvalos. I wouldn't say that this is the best Charmy, because it's like most generic, but every good deck can play around it, I think. But against Rogue it's insane, and it's the most generic, and technically it's the best, yeah. Because this card kills decks, like even good decks, like White Force has a problem with this. Evil Twin like dies to it if they can't draw the out. And they can do this always, so yeah, still 3 Charmies in the main deck. I don't want to play more Charmies in the main deck. You can do that, of course, because yeah, go second if you play more Charmies, like instead of the Ash Blossoms, it's okay. Because Ash Blossom is dead against most decks, because you Ash a deck and they mostly like still keep comboing, except if you like Ash the only starter they have. And you could cut these for like Perulia or Meowths, but that's a good go second, yeah. But first of all, you don't want, like if you open double Charmy, like like 1 Fuvalos and a Meowth, for example, if you play it, you can resolve like at least one of them. And the thing is, if you like resolve double Charmy and you draw into more Charmies, it's basically trash. And yeah, you want to draw into much engine cards because your engine is very strong, and you can still like draw into some board breakers, like the okay, mixed up a little bit, like Super Poly or Droplets and the Talons. So this is what you can do with 6 Charmies. But if you play 6 Charmies, which is good go second, your matchup going first, if you like have to play yourself, gets worse. And then like if you get stopped on like your starter and your hand looks like double Charmy and you can't remove your body on the board, it's basically trash because you can't play and can't interrupt the opponent. So that was the decision for the Ash Blossoms over another playset of Charmies or Droll, because like yeah, Droll it bites with the Fuvolos and Droll's dead against Malice, for example, or Evil Twin, and we decided to play the most generic pile. I think this is like good against every deck. Like even at Ash Blossom, like can do against every deck at least something. Or against Malice, you can actually MTP on the end board. So if you top deck it for turn, it's not that bad. And MTP is one of the cards you want to stop if you play into the board. So yeah, and even if like Mitsurugi may be the best deck, you can even ash like the reborn effect of the monsters, which like mostly on the end board doesn't matter because they got the Omni Negate Trap if they played in the main deck, and the what's it called, the I'm stupid, prayers, exactly, yeah. And of course these still like Droplet and Super Poly for like a quick talk. This is the best board breaker I found out in testing. It's the only one that is good into almost everything. And if you set it going first, there's like mostly no chance you're losing this, except if you like either your opponent drews the crack hand or like you misplay a little bit, then Droplet is like still safe. You can negate some outs on your deck, like you can negate the on the Malice and board some stuff, and or like the Murakumo, which is worse because you mostly will get ripped from hand a little bit with the Murakumo. So Droplet can be weird, but you play so many quick spells and spells, it like doesn't matter most of the time because you activate a spell, they chain Murakumo, you can just chain Droplet, and this deck wants to pop their own cards, but the Raigeki effect of the Murakumo can still hurt, because like on a scenario where you special Sleepy and you activate Sleepy as chaining 1 and they trigger the Murakumo for a negate and you couldn't resolve Sleepy, that's pain, so you don't want that. Okay, so for the extra deck, we cut it down. So basically, personally, I cut it down a little bit because I was always saying you like this is a one-off. You can play it as a one-off. It's just painful if you like play against the cash version. Then this as a one-off is painful. And I played 3 because I love the third one. Because you then like just can play safe by sending 1 and banishing 1. That's why I played 3, because it's easier. It's easier, but it's you can't play 3 in a Super Poly deck, I think, because the space is so tight, and you still want to play like those cards for interrupting. Guiding Chimera is like, if you summon it and it resolves, you win every time. Because this is the last thing you do. If your opponent still can't play after Guiding Chimera, then they like probably start with 10 cards in hand or something because of Charmies. And Darkus Apilia is just like, if they bait out the fusion and the Guiding Chimera wouldn't like be good here, then you just bait Darkus Apilia as another interruption. Like if you board get dusted, and this card is pretty good. You can also shrink levels with it. So against Ryziel, you're not even like only negating a monster on the field, you also make it unable to use it as an Xyz summon, and if they already Xyz locked, the monster is basically dead. And then the Super Poly targets, I play 4 right now. Those I don't have to explain, and this is for Blue Eyes especially, or like Branded if someone is still on it. And the Duke of Demise is pretty good into, first of all, Evil Twin Fiendsmith, or any Fiendsmith deck, or if you like post-siding, you Perulia your opponent, and he will just go Babuska Pass. You just have to normal summon either, or like what it means normal summon, you just like to get on board either any Earth monster, which is like one of those, like 4, or any Fiend, which is this. Because like if you get a Beast on board, Earth on board, you can go Mud Dragon. And if you get a Fiend on board, you can go Duke of Demise, which is even better, because you have to, like, the Fiends you have to normal summon. And you normal this, and use Super Poly for the Duke of Demise, and then you get a second normal summon. So like if your starting hand is this, and Super Poly into a Baguska, then you normal one, go in Super Poly, get rid of the Baguska, and just summon another one. So this is like one way to out Baguska, because Baguska you can't out it with Engine, except if your hand is like cracked. But you cannot rely on that, because this deck plays some bricks. So yeah, basically this is the out for Baguska, for Fiendsmith cards, because a second normal summon is like pretty insane. If like Memento gets support in the future and they get like a second normal summon, this deck is cracked. Because the only way how you can like brick on many starters if because they are like all normal summon. This is a normal summon, Anguish is a normal summon, Darkblade is a normal summon, and this is like one problem. They are all normal summons, except of like this and the Born Party, of course. And like if this deck, for example, gets another fusion monster like Duke of Demise and has an effect and gives you another normal summon, that would be cracked. Or like a spell that, or a spell, like a continuous spell or something that gives you another normal summon. It would be very insane. So and yeah, and this card like makes Blue Eyes a free matchup going second if you open Super Poly, in my opinion. So yeah, and if you play Super Poly, I think you have to at least play those, and then this, because Blue Eyes is not even, it's a good deck, and it's like pretty favored. Like I don't know how Blue Eyes matchups are like against other decks, but it's Blue Eyes, it's a fan favorite. Like there are so many people that are gonna play this, and Duke of Demise, because Fiends is still very popular, I think. This card doesn't came up that much in testing, you can probably cut it. But I don't know, for safety I would first of all keep it in, but in the next week we will see if I post another list if this is cut it or not. And then for the Link monsters, pretty simple, I guess. This is for time. I cut the sprint because your side deck is pretty tight with the meta right now. And then the access code line with this. And your input pieces, you can build like both. And this is a card you need against like Mirror Match or a Mitsurugi, because if they start with Ritual to summon the Murakumo, like your board gets so much weaker, so you want to negate the Ritual spell. Because it like stops so much. And yeah, for like the Duke, you can either cut, you can play a Luna instead. This would have been possible. And yeah, then for the side deck, it's also pretty simple, I guess. It's just hate. So Lancia, Meows. Meows is better than Chaos Hunter, because they can Chaos out the Chaos Hunter. And for this, they need to do Ash Blossom or Cold Buy or like Cross Out if they play it. And double Purulia. This is versus Mitsurugi Raziel, any Mitsurugi version or like any Raziel version. Please don't hate me for the mismatching rarities and languages. These are the only copies I own. Don't look at this. This is like we just gonna hide one. And then one Book of Eclipse. Before I change it, this was a Slayer. But if you play a Slayer for Mitsurugi Raziel, you still have to play another Aggregator in this extra deck, and then you either cut the Agave Dragon or the Duke of Demise, which are both good cards, because if you play Big Wind, you need a time option, because you will go into time. And yeah, and then Decorate, because this is most generic and good against everything. It's good versus the Malazan board if they don't end on the Omni Negate, which some people are not doing. And it's good versus Mitsurugi Raziel because it gets rid of Cross, the Omni Negate, and like this will also always gets rid of the Omni Negate, because they have to negate it, because if they just like chain Murakumo, I'm gonna discard a dead card and it's resolving. And then the going first cards for the 3 Charmies in your main deck. You can play, instead of a Judgment, you can play instead of the Call By, you can play another Judgment, but you want to combo going first, so you need like one defensive card. So yeah, that's the idea. And one like issue, if you play more Charmies in the main deck, you have to play more going first, because like if you play this in the main deck, then you can probably like go up to 3 Book of Eclipse, which I maybe will doing. Depends on how it's going with the deck. So I will keep you updated on that, and yeah, that's probably already it. Like this video is pretty long right now, 20 minutes. It's okay for deck profile, I think, even if it's like explaining very much. So if you have any questions on like ratios, if I didn't explain enough, just ask in the comments. It's not a problem. I will answer everything I'm gonna read. So, and yeah, I hope you liked it. Tell me if you want like more insights on my personal testing with Memento for German nationals. If you like playing UK nationals or Italian nationals like on the same week or 1 week before, then you can probably like also tell me your ideas on testing. So yeah, this is it, and I will just say like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions, and yeah, see you soon.